Jenny Glenn, welcome.
Thank
You have a nice piece of office furniture. You have a nice addition. I made you pull it into the screen. Congratulations. You just won the national championship 2 days ago with your MSU Denver Roadrunners. What went through your mind when that final point was scored and you realized you were the national champion? I almost got choked up, by the way, saying that.
Yeah, it's such a journey, and I just say glory to God. I think it was just his plan from the beginning with this group, and this group was faithful, and it was such a journey of belief that as we stepped in, even to the Elite Eight, but from the conference tournament on, that we believed we were going to win. And so as we stepped in, we had surrendered the outcome. We knew the season would go as it was supposed to go. And there's a whole story behind our identity and the work that we had done as a program to know who we were outside of performance. I feel like every other year it gets to that point, and we care so much because we work so hard that when we get to those moments to win, that it's almost too much pressure. And so we worked really hard on knowing who we were outside of our performance and knowing that our performance doesn't determine our value. And that sounds like a really common thing, but we dug in from, springtime all the way to really diving in at our retreat. And as a staff, Kaden and I, and we brought in Trisha Kroll with our mental training coach, and we made identity a priority. And it was really important that every one of our athletes knew exactly who they are and their unique identity before we stepped into postseason. So when we did, we knew that the battle was already won. We had already taken the victory. We knew who we were, and we could step on the court and play in freedom. And this was, as a coach, the first time I ever coached out of the space of freedom. And our athletes played out of freedom. And I think anyone that watched us play, first time in the Elite Eight, and we weren't even nervous. We stepped into each match, and we had adversity we had to overcome. And we knew that the victory was already won. And so as, that final point goes down, part of me is like, yep, I knew this was going to happen, which isn't arrogant. It was literally just belief. And I knew my athletes were dialed in a space that we thought if we could be playing in freedom and in our true identity in April, we were talking about this, we thought we'd be untouchable, that you can't beat a team in that space that's talented. And I was just so fun to watch our unit grind in that space and figure it out and prioritize it so that when the pressure was on, we just played Roadrunner volleyball. I talked a lot about it's another volleyball match on a Saturday afternoon. And so when that final point went down, it was just glory to God, so cool that it played out, and we got to experience what we talked about, a one accord championship in our true identities. So when I see this trophy, that's what I see. I see a one accord championship for the Lord in our true identity. And it was just a beautiful story.
If this team were to be described in 3 words, what would your 3 words be?
Unselfish. Yeah. Belief.
Believers.
Yeah. Believers, and fierce.
Love it. Yeah. Fierce. I love it. Who is the calmest player under pressure this year?
That is a tough one. Maybe Alyssa Boyte. She's kind of our, that when we need to score, we gave her the ball from all year long. I think she handled pressure really well, one of our middles.
Who surprised you the most this season on and off the court?
The unit of our freshmen that played, Brooke Gennerman, Emerson Dillon, and Karyna Werley. Never played like freshmen. They just stepped on the court and did it. I mean, we're winning a national championship with 3 freshmen on the floor, which is not something MSU Denver's done in the past. We've had a lot of veteran players. So I was just a cool surprise. Most would think I would say Megan Hagar coming in the national championship and doing what she did after Annika went down, but that doesn't surprise me just because of how she handled that situation. And I knew she was capable of that. So.
For our listeners, fill them in. What happened?
Yeah, so in the quarterfinal match, Annika Helf, who's our first team All-American 6 rotation left side, who's carried our team a lot this year, had a knee injury. So she's our lone senior and was our only senior on the roster and went down. Megan Hagar, who started the season as a starter, was beat out by Brooke Gennerman. that stayed in all year and just is like the most unselfish, great character person, came out and came and played with her, or played for Ani the rest of the tournament, and ended up the tournament MVP. So she was awesome. Played with no fear and just got after it.
Amazing. And ready to go.
Yeah. So ready
to go.
Yeah.
Ready. Her time popped up, and man,
yeah,
she delivered, right? What's next for you and your team?
Yeah, I mean, it's, we talked about, we've been in a battle for a while, and it's time to rest a little bit. So rest, enjoy the moment. We always talk about we get 30 minutes of celebration after we win,
and then we're
on to the next. But we can sit in this for a little bit longer before we kind of refocus for what is in the future. And, we step back in the spring and we start training again. And there's so much more to learn about our identities and who we are, and continuing to practice and have influence. That's one of our biggest goals, is that we influence people through what we're learning.
For young girls watching, what do you hope they take away from this?
Yeah, I just hope they're inspired that they can play their sport in peace, joy, and freedom, that they don't have to play in a way that is pressure filled or worrying about what people think, and that when they truly understand who they are and their value, it allows them to play free. And that's what, even as we're at the Elite Eight and we're at a banquet, and our deliverer of truth, Alyssa Boyte, giving the speech, it's like, that's our hope for everyone. It's not a secret. We want everyone to know that the way you saw MSU Denver play this last week is possible for everyone.